Perfect. So, very good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining us today. I am Rajesh Kumar Singh, your host for the day. I'm Rajesh. I'm the Director and CEO for International College of Financial Planning. We are a part of the Bajaj Capital Group, and Be Fantastic is our education initiatives. So, ICFP, International College of Financial Planning, is one of India's well-known financial planning institutions. And as a matter of fact, we are the people who brought the financial planning education CFP program to India. And we have been teaching financial planning, financial analysis programs since 2002. So it has been our expertise teaching finance. So what happened last year when we last to last year, in fact, so when we were struggling with the spread of COVID, and we saw the impacts all around. So lot was going through our mind. We said, why is this happening? Health is, yes, something that's not in hand, but we were seeing the impacts of it, at how families were getting impacted. There were layoffs happening, there were unemployments happening, wage cut happening, and there were severe impacts on the financial health of the family. So we kind of went ahead thinking that what probably is the reason. One of the root causes that we analyze with our study is that uh, it is because of the under involvement of women when it comes to managing money. Uh, so when Nupur talks, she will probably be throwing more light on it. But you see, there are not many studies which go on to reveal that when it comes to money management, women are far better financial managers than us. So the essentials of money management is actually in your DNA, but probably finance is projected to you in such a way that when it comes to finance, you feel that it is complex, and you feel a little jittery about it. You prefer to be dependent on somebody like your dad or your brother, or maybe later on your husband's, to talk about, to do the money management for you. But that's not the fact. Probably the ideal way is that women, as the uh, women should be the virtual CFOs of the family. So that's what the aim was, that's what the agenda was. And with that, we started this fantastic movement at ICFP, at Bajaj Capital. We started this fantastic movement where we said that we will take out this message to every single woman across the country, and we will make them aware that why you need to be financially independent, why you need to be financially confident. It's not that only when you earn you need to be managing money. Even when your husband is earning, you should be good at managing money. You should be doing that CFO work for him. So that was the idea, and with that thought, this fantastic movement was born. Fantastic is a place where we teach people about money management, and people mean general people. Women like you join us. We call it fantastic women. So women like you, whether homemakers, whether working women, whether entrepreneurs, whether doctors, engineers, women across all categories, from 25, 28 odd years to 50, 55 odd years, they come together, they learn, and we teach them how to manage money, the essentials of money management. And that too, we teach it online during 10, 15 days, 15 days only, 30 hours. So it's like a, the program is delivered in such a way that it is made, especially made for you, right? We start from very basics, teaching what is money, the cash, the net worth, the cash flow, your household budgets, and we go on to teach even stocks and mutual funds and investing and tax planning, a lot of stuff. Because the idea is that every single woman should be financially confident. So that's about me. That's about ICFP. That's about the fantastic initiative that we have. So, ladies, the guest for the day today is not me. I'm just doing an intro talk. The guest for the day today is Nupur. Nupur happens to be a very young, bright, charming lady. She is a certified financial planner. She has done a CFP from FPSB USA board. So, see, that way she's a qualified person and a certified person to do financial planning, to do financial advisory. And CFP, for your reference, so it's one of the it's world's topmost certification in personal finance and financial planning, and she has passed that certification. So she is extremely qualified and well versed to do that. And being a lady, I think she knows your pulse. She knows what pains you, what doesn't pain you. So she would be the one who would probably be talking about the subject better than me. So that's about it. Just one ground rule, ladies, for the day is we have deliberately kept all of you on mute, but that doesn't mean you can't ask questions. You can ask questions. This has been done just to ensure that when Nupur speaks, you have absolute clarity of voice when she speaks. If you have questions, you can raise hands in the Zoom panel. My team Ashok is here, who looks after the IT. He's here. He'll allow you to unmute yourself and you can speak with Nupur one-on-one, or you can write the questions in the chat. Either way. So with that, I am extremely happy, privileged, Nupur, to have you here today. I know I have been inviting you for a long, and then finally we have you here today. So thank you so much for being here, Nupur, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words and having me here. I think it's a high time to create awareness regarding women's financial literacy. As this platform, Fantastic Women, is doing an amazing work. So, good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. So, let's start. Okay. So, I would like to begin this webinar with an old piece of wisdom. Educate a man and you educate a person. Educate a woman and you educate a generation. So, ladies, this applies to financial literacy too. Finance starts from home.
So, Nupur, if you want to share something on the screen, you can do that as well.
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay. So, finance, as we know, starts from home. Knowing the basics of finance, basics of personal finance is not a rocket science. In fact, it's a life skill that even a homemaker should know. Understanding money management is as important for women as it is for men. No matter if a woman is a single or married, a homemaker or working professional, she could be equipped with the knowledge of how to efficiently manage her money. Still, it has been observed that women don't take active interest in this area. A survey revealed that only a small percentage of women are able to build on and grow their existing wealth. And among those, only about 33% have the confidence to invest their money. These low figures show that financial literacy for women is still not part of mainstream discourse. So, ladies, I'm going to be brutal and honest and lay it bare. Okay. So, women, I must say, are really good at spending money and spending money on shopping, and their bargaining skills need to be appreciated. I personally learned from my mother how to get 1,000 rupees thing for 200 rupees. Okay. So you will spend time looking at designs, the number of pockets, zip on the bag, color of the bag, and etc. But when it comes to finance and money management, I have seen women saying that it is taken care by my husband or the male counterpart in the family that can be a brother or father. But why only male needs to look after finance? Why only male should look after money management part? No doubt, traditionally, it has been observed that women are kept out of the discussion related to finances. Even in some cases, women themselves were not concerned with where the finances are coming from and where they should go. But ladies, now the time is changing. Women are educated. They are working on the high level positions. Even the financial literacy gender gap is improving. Get beyond having the best handbag, showing off and having the best brands in your wardrobe. That doesn't make you financially independent. Many people can buy luxury goods, but few can claim to be able to manage their finances. Be one of them. The one hurdle that I believe women need to overcome to take better control of their money is to build confidence. Women first need to grow confidence in them that they can take control of their finances. It is found that women generally allocate more of their finances to savings rather than taking risk and investing that money to generate good returns. But I believe with learning and better understanding, women can become more confident and comfortable in managing their finances. I will like to throw I will like to throw light on the whole scenario that happened during demonetization. Maybe some of you remembered that lot of secret reserves of money which our mother or married women have buried since years, and suddenly all the money had to came out. And I am sure there are still so many women who are repeating the same mistake yet again. And the main reason is lack of money management knowledge. So let's take a deep dive in the world of finance now. So what is actually financial literacy? Financial literacy simply means from where money is coming, that is your income, from where money is going, that is your expenses, and how you can save and invest your hard-earned money. So, do you think without being financially literate, you can plan your future effectively, your financial future effectively? Well, the answer is probably no, you can't. That's why it is really important for both the male and the woman to be financially literate in the family, not the only one that is male. Women must understand that being educated and independent, just going halfway down the road to cover the other half of the road, women have to be smart about spending their money and make a prudent decision concerning their hard-earned money. So let's discuss why women must know about money management or why women need to be financially literate. So listen this carefully, ladies. The first reason, let me be really blunt for a second. Women are going to live longer than men. Okay, even statistically, we know that's true. Women have a longer life expectancy than men. In India, the average male life expectancy is 67.4 years, and the female life expectancy is 70 years old. So at some point, women are going to have to manage their finances on their own, and we can't just rely on somebody else to manage that for us. And thus, women should have the knowledge to carry on their day-to-day affairs and manage finances. The second point which I would like to highlight here is children tend to be more influenced by their mothers than their fathers. Therefore, if a mother is financially literate, she can set a good example for her children as well. The third point which I would like to highlight is to finance your own dreams. So when women learn to manage their money and save money and grow their wealth on their own, they are able to finance their own dreams, and she can be self-sufficient in taking their own money decisions. Why to depend on somebody else, or no matter if it's your husband or your father? If it is it's your dreams, you need to fulfill your dreams. Take a stand and do it on your own. Okay. The next point is you need to prepare yourself for emergencies and unforeseen circumstances, because unfortunate events don't come, they are not planned. Okay, so keep the emotional angle aside. Let's think practically. Life is unpredictable. God forbid, but what if anything unfortunate happens tomorrow? And the breadwinner of the family is no more, and who was the only one taking financial decisions in the family. There will be emotional loss, and it is hard to cope up with that. You can fill up that gap, I agree, but there's one gap that you have to fill up, and that is your finances. We can take the recent example, the whole COVID situation that happened. Okay, in the blink of eyes, many people have lost their loved ones, the main earning member of the family. And in many cases, the wives were not aware of whereabouts of the family finances that include number of bank accounts, insurance policies, investments, and many more such finance related things, money related things. So just think about the financial crunch such families had to go through. And it is just because of the lack of personal finance knowledge. So here's a small advice to all the ladies, for uh, all the ladies and also the males there. So what you can do is Sit down with your partner every month and discuss your finances with each other. Discuss about the bank accounts, number of bank accounts you have, in which instruments and how much investments you have made, the insurance policies you have, the FDs, children's future planning, retirement planning, and everything related to finance. Sit, make it a ritual. Sit with your partner every month and discuss about it. Make it. I try not to save. Uh, okay, sorry. Try say you can do one thing is save this sensitive information at a safe place where both of you can easily access. Try not to save such sensitive information on your mobile phones because there are chances that you may lose it and the sensitive data can be misused by someone else. So better try to save it in make a Excel sheet. You can do is make one Excel sheet and secure it with a strong password that only shared between you both, and try not to share such sensitive information with anyone else in your family. Okay, so, according to me, I will consider it as a healthy conversation which every family must have. And women themselves should come ahead and participate in such conversations. Women themselves should come ahead and sit with your partner and discuss about finance related things. Okay, so to be financially independent, women need to start taking a few simple steps. So the number one is get over the mindset that men know more about managing money. Let me tell you the fact that women are actually better at managing money. In fact, a study revealed by financial service giant Fidelity Investment says that women are actually better investors than men. Women need to take a stance that they will be a part of family finances and will be on equal level with their spouse on money management. Okay. So second thing that you can do is knowledge is power. You need to educate yourself. Nobody is going to teach you how to manage your money. Not even our school thought it is important to teach personal finance. People say that finance is boring as it has some complicated jargons, I know. But for me being a woman, I will say, me being a young woman, for me, this is the most interesting thing to do. I can keep on learning and reading articles on personal finance. And fun fact, I don't know, but I never get bored of it. Seriously, it is okay if you, and it's okay if you don't understand everything. It's okay because not everything is for everyone. Okay, but at least you need to know the basics of financial concepts. You need to know what is financial literacy, what are financial planning, what are your family's financial goals, what are your financial goals. Sit and discuss with your partner, or if you are single, sit and make your own financial plan, make your future financial, make your according to your future financial goal, prepare your own financial plan, list down everything, list down the investments that you are thinking to make, or according to your financial goals. Okay, so I will talk about concepts of basic concepts of financial concept basics of financial concepts in a short time. So I hope by now you must have realized what is the importance of financial literacy in an individual's life, whether it's a man or a woman. Okay, now I would like to share my PPT that I have made with you. Okay, just a second. Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible, Nupur. Just that if you can put it on the slideshow mode, it will be bigger.
Okay, yeah, I will do that. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So why every woman must know about how to manage money efficiently? Yes, this is the topic of our webinar today. Hmm, what's happening? Okay. So the road to financial freedom need right approach towards their goals and investment. The first point, let me with start with budgeting. Establish a budget and stick to it. It's the best way to be in control of your finances and make sure. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry. I will start with the beginning. Start with the budgeting. Establish a budget and stick to it. It's the best way to be in control of your finances and make sure your money is going towards the expenses that matter most to you. The 50-30 budget rule that I have mentioned here is it is a budget rule. It is a simple way of allocating your money and hence making use of it wisely. According to this rule, divide your income in three parts. Number one, it can be 50% of your income should go towards the needs, the essential things that can be rent, the grocery, the EMIs that you need to pay. The 30% should go towards your wants. The wants can be having a dinner out with family or something like fun activity you need to do. Okay, and the 20% should go strictly, I will say, strictly should go towards saving. I know many people won't even, I will say, they won't follow it, but trust me, this helps a lot. Make sure that 20, at least 20%, this is a very small amount, 20% you should allocate this part to your savings. The second one is emergency fund, or it is also called as a contingency fund. Emergency fund. An emergency fund is an essential corpus that you must keep aside to tackle emergencies. Now, emergencies can anything related to health issue, related to health, any illness that suddenly came out and it has a bill that that can't be paid immediately. So, in such conditions, you need an emergency fund. Okay, so you must keep aside such fund as per the general rule. The fund should be equal to 2 to 3 or 6 months of your expenses. Whatever your expenses, sit down and look at your monthly expenses, and according to that, plan your at least you should have 6 months of expenses aside for your emergency. Now, the third point is save for retirement. It is very important, and I know most of the people neglect this thing, which is not right, I would say, because okay, considering that on average women live longer than men, but on less than men, they should start saving early, ideally from the first year of her career, and allocate a percentage of income to create retirement corpus. Same goes for a man too. So the last point here is insurance. Now we all know insurance is very important. Now, personally, I have seen like when I advise people about insurance. Okay, so I have personally like advise when talk about young individuals. I have seen that I advise them to buy a life insurance that it is must. I believe if you are 25 and up, you should have a life insurance. What you have to do, you have to pay a premium which is very low, and you are secured. Your life is secured, your family will be secured if anything unforeseen happens with you. Insurance is an important part of financial planning. It is always advisable to buy insurance against unexpected events, especially life insurance and medical insurance. A person must have this insurance, and I wish people understand the importance of at least a life insurance. We all know medical insurance and health insurance is normal. People are having it, but it is very tough to explain people that why you need a life insurance. And I have got really funny answers when I suggest them to buy a insurance. I would like to share here. Recently, I said someone to get a life insurance. He was already 25 years old. So what he told me that, ma'am, instead of buying a life insurance, instead of spending my money after life insurance, I would rather invest in stock market. But what should I say now? Insurance is not an investment. What insurance is to secure your life, and investment is totally a different thing. Okay, so okay. The next, women must know these three basic financial concepts. Not only women, even a man should know this. But okay, women, the first thing is time value of money. This concept states that the value of money changes over time. It means that the money received in present is worth more than the same amount of money in future due to its potential earning capacity. This core principle of a finance holds that provided money can earn interest, any amount of money is worth more more the sooner it is received. Okay. The difference in the value of money today and tomorrow is referred to as time value of money. The second point is power of compounding. Now, I think people should know the importance of power of compounding. It is considered as the okay, sorry, yeah, it is considered as the compounding is the magic of investing. It is considered as the eighth wonder of the world. Money needs time to grow, and power of compounding is that magic that which helps your money to grow. So how does compounding work? It is essential means reinvesting the earnings you get from your initial invested amount instead of spending it elsewhere. This how interest on interest keeps on adding, and you see the power of compounding. The next one comes is inflation. Now, who does not know about inflation? Inflation is the silent killer, which is killing the value of your money. Inflation is the silent killer. But why? Because inflation reduces the purchasing power of your currency, which leads to increase in the price of goods and services over time. Now we have a very good recent example that is of petrol prices in India. Petrol prices in India are increasing like what should I say? I don't know. Petrol prices in 2010 was somewhere around 47 rupees per liter, but the same petrol today costs more than 100 rupees per liter. In fact, petrol prices are up by 34 rupees in the last 2 years. Crazy, isn't it? So inflation simply means that your money won't buy as much today as it used to yesterday, and of course in future. Okay. And this is the reason why you need to invest your money. Make your money work for you. Yes, you heard it right. Start making money from money. Your money can work for you. The inflation rate is almost 6% today. And that's why you need to put your money to work so that you can grow your wealth and beat inflation rather than losing the value of your hard-earned money to inflation. The money kept ideal is losing its value. Sorry. Okay. The money kept ideal is losing its value because of this silent killer called inflation. But the money invested is appreciating in value. So the next comes where to invest your money. There are different investment instruments, but I have listed down some of them here. That is, so first one is direct equity. It refers to investing in stock market. Now, I won't suggest everyone to invest blindly in stock market because investing in stock market needs skills, proper knowledge, and understanding of market. Okay, and that's why it might not be everyone's cup of tea. The second one is equity mutual funds, or we can say debt mutual funds. Now, mutual funds are great and easy way, I would say, of investing in markets as it is actively managed by a fund manager who is a professional in this field. You can either go for SIP or lump sum investment. through mutual funds. The next one is index funds. This is a beginner friendly investment option, I would say. Index funds are passively managed. Why passively managed? Because they are they follow they track the indexes that is Nifty 50 and Sensex 30. So these are some of the investment options that you can opt to grow your wealth and beat inflation. There are many more investment instruments in the India market. You can plan and invest according to your financial goals. Okay, so just like we have a family doctor, I would like to conclude it here. Just like we have a family doctor, it's time that every family should have a financial planner or a CFP who can guide them in the right direction, help them achieve their financial goals. So this is my Instagram handle where you can follow me if you are not following me already. And I regularly share finance related content. I try to create awareness regarding the finance topics. So yeah, thank you.
That was very short, crisp talk by you, Nupur, and I'm pretty sure you kind of shared a lot of information which the participants came to know today. And you talked about COVID, how it changed, how it impacted, why women are afraid of finance and all of this stuff. So I can see a few questions in the chat. Participants, if you have questions, you can write in the chat or you can raise hands in the Zoom panel. My team will allow you to unmute yourself. So I can see a few questions. Let me just bring those questions to you. So one question is from Rukmani. He says, how do we manage our unstoppable expenses with limited income? That's a typical household problem, Nupur. So you have to guide her about how she can manage the budget.
Okay, so I have seen this problem with so many of them, unstoppable expense. Okay, so unstoppable expense, please if you can clarify what kind of unstoppable expense that are. Okay, I would say that if it's related to unnecessary expenses, which are not necessary, which are not a need, then avoid doing it. I know it's not in control to do at the initial level, but try to avoid as much as you can. Make a strict, but as I mentioned, make a strict budget helps a lot. Every month sit down and make a budget, and please stick to it, and you can see the changes. Or one more thing you can do is have a limited as I said, the as you will make a budget, you know what amount you need at the what amount you need towards the income towards the expenses you are going to make. Okay, so keep aside that much money and try to invest that other money in a different instruments that will help you grow your wealth, and this how maybe you can avoid avoid such expenses.
Participants, if I can make a request, all of you can switch on your cameras. We are towards the far end of the event. We will be able to have a better conversation, a better talk. Okay, so moving to the next question. Okay, so before I move to the next question, the earlier question what Nupur just answered, let me just add to what Nupur said. Though she has already elaborated earlier about your household budget and all. So you see, there is a simple formula. Some people follow the formula income minus expenses equal to savings. Okay, so whatever you earn, you spend money, whatever is left behind is your savings. So majority of the people follow this formula, income minus expenses equals to savings. And that's a wrong approach. Okay, the correct formula should be income minus savings would be expenses. So you should know how much you have to save. So as she gave you a thumb rule, so that's a thumb rule. Of course, for everybody it will vary, but Nupur gave a thumb rule that you should be aiming to save at least 20%. So let's say if you're earning 2 lakh rupees or 1 lakh rupees, so 20% of that you should aim at saving every month. Okay, and then you spend the rest of the money. And that again, she beautifully explained you the difference between needs and wants, how to juggle around that, how to balance that. So that all you have to do. So there is another question. Hi, please share any book for understanding financial planning for beginners, so we can get used to jargon and follow articles to learn more. Before I give this question to Nupur, so and you have not mentioned your name, so I am referring to you as a beautiful lady. So you see what happens. Finance, when you look at it, it's a very practical subject. Of course, there are lot many books that you can refer to. There are lot many. Trust me, lot many books that you can refer to, and which have been written for laymen like you, who can learn and who can refer to those books and learn. But if you can learn it practically, that's better. That was the thought when we brought this fantastic movement, when we said that we're going to do an online program for women where we will teach them the basics of financial planning, basics of personal finance. So that all you can do. One of the books that I think I can suggest you, of course, Nupur can suggest you more, is read this book, Let's Talk Money. This is written by Monica Hallan. Monica happens to be one of our alumni. She has, the way Nupur is a CFP, she's also a CFP, and she has studied CFP with us. She's a renowned financial journalist. She writes for Economic Times, Mint, Hindustan, so many newspapers, so many financial news she writes. Very well-renowned, well-known journalist in the country today. She has written this book, Let's Talk Money.
So I guess there's some network issue. We are not able to hear properly.
Ashok, can you hear me now? Ashok, can you hear me? Ashok? Ashok, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Perfect. So I think people can hear me. They have mentioned that they can hear me. I'm having the doubt regarding credit card. Should I use it or not? So Krishna, you see, credit card is always, yeah, so Nupur is back. So Nupur, giving this question back to you. Krishna is asking you that he is having his own doubts about uses of credit card, whether he should be using a credit card or not. And I think you have a wonderful video made on this as well, which is there on Insta. Okay, now over to you, Nupur. Nupur, we can't hear you.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I have recently made a video and I have explained beautifully why you should use credit card and why you should not use credit card. It has both the use. It has both the side. And the question is regarding few doubts, use or not. Okay, so well, it has. I will say if you use it carefully, if then it is a great thing that you can have. Credit cards are really great to have, so it can help you build. First thing it can help you build your credit score. Okay, and a credit score, which maybe you must be aware about why we need a credit score. So whenever we want to apply for a loan in future, a credit score are really of a great help. And why you should not use, the question is that credit cards are like having do have the negative sides too. If you are not paying the amount on time within the stipulated time that is given, that you will be levied with a heavy interest on it, and the interest can build up, it will be piled up, and it will be very hard to pay off. So make sure if you are buying credit card, if you are using credit card, then make sure you are able to pay the amount on time within the stipulated time which we are giving. Otherwise, the interest are, I will say, it's gonna kill the money that you are, that kill the thing which you are even buying from it. It is not at all worth it if you are not using credit card, use it carefully because credit cards, there are many credit cards fraud out there. So make sure keep a thing that keep track on the things that you are purchasing, and if you find any suspicious activity, then do inform your banks immediately. So yes, these are the points that to use or not to use your credit card. So it's up to you now.
Perfect. I can't see any more questions. Participants, if you have questions, you can write in the chat. You can raise hands, or else we are done with the talk. We are done with the conversation. I can wait for a minute to see your questions if you have. No, so no more questions. Till the time you write questions, let me share again. So Fantastic is where we deliver, we bring the financial confidence to women. We teach you right from the very basics of what is money, going to the extent of managing money, investing in stocks, investing in mutual funds, managing your family budget, managing your taxes, and all the other stuff. So the idea is not to make you an expert. The idea is not to say that within 15 days I will make you such an expert that you will not need a financial planner or a financial advisor. You will always need a financial planner or a professional advisor or a professional wealth manager. But the idea is that when you know it yourself, probably your wealth manager or financial planner or anybody on whom you are dependent currently do not take you for a ride. Okay, because when you do not know the subject, they take you for a ride. I mean, you do not know whether investing in that particular stock or that particular mutual fund is going to be good for you. If they say it is good, you just simply go and blindly do it. So that will stop happening because then you will be far more aware, far more confident. And as Nukur said, if you can be so wise distinguishing between 10 shades of red, 10 shades of blue, and 10 shades of purple, you can be so wise distinguishing between 10 different mutual funds too. That's what the agenda is. That's what we want to do at Fantastic. So
I would like to.
that's all. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I would like to add it that you said it right. If you are see whatever information you know, whatever like you learn, and you can learn. But we can see nowadays that related to finance, there is so much things going on in the market. Now suddenly there are so many coming out in the market and giving advice about investing in stock market, investing there, investing here. So I would like to say that be aware of such people. You check whether they are SEBI registered or not, because if a person is giving financial advising, he has to or he or she has to be registered under SEBI. So if he is the right person, then only take advice from him. Otherwise, avoid taking such advice, because I have seen so many people have lost their money just by taking advice from such any random people in the market here. So you will get a hell lot of people are here. So be prepared, be just check. So for that, you need to have a proper information. You need to educate. So that's why you need to educate yourself first, so you can you know where to what is the right thing for you, where to invest and where not to invest.
Perfect. So with that, we come to an okay. I can see one more question. So let's take that question. Okay. So Nupur Sital is asking you a question that you told to invest in equity, but investing in equity is risky. Is there any instrument which forecasts the risk accurately?
Okay, so yeah, I will say investing and earning wealth from investing comes at a risk, no doubt. There are instruments you can invest. There are debt instruments in the market where you can invest in. There are debt mutual funds. We can find debt mutual funds you can go, which have a low risk, but you can get a return. But there's Okay. So,
Nupur, we lost you for a while. We lost you for a while. This was completely blank.
yeah,
We couldn't hear you.
yeah, yes. So, yeah, there are instruments, market, debt instruments, balance instrument. So you can go for that. But remember that if you are young, if you are already young, if you are in the 20s or 30s, try to try to invest a large percentage in equity instruments, because equity instruments help to grow you wealth. The higher the risk, the higher the returns. Maybe you might have heard or not. So this applies here too in the equity. If you are investing, if you are young, try to take risk and invest in equity or equity oriented mutual funds.
Perfect. So I don't see any more questions. So with that, the event comes to an end, and I am extremely thankful to you, Nupur, for joining us today for this and delivering this talk, talking to all the wonderful ladies out here. And I can also see some men attended. So for the men who attended, they can probably go and pass it back to their family members, wife, sisters, mother at home, and they can talk about it. But whosoever we are, whether men or women, we all, none of us can deny from the fact that a woman must be financially confident. Whether today or tomorrow, whether it's normal life or it's an exigency, it's an urgency like post-pandemic era. Uh, all the time, the women need to be in command of the finances. So with that thought, I think it's time to sign off. It's time to say goodbye. All of you who want to be financially confident, I would love to see you joining us for Fantastic Women program. You can call us, and Michael would be happy helping you with all the more information on the program. So that's all. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you so much, Nupur, for joining us, for taking out time today. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. I hope I did justice to this show.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashok, bye-bye.